Why do you wear a closure? When should you wear a closure? What different types of closures exist? All of those questions will be answered right now. To closure or not to closure? That is the question. Hello Beweavers, welcome back to the Hair by Sisi YouTube channel. I am Sisi and I'm so glad you guys have tuned in today because today we were talking closures. So basically closures come in all different textures and types, and I'm wearing a closure right now if you guys can see, and that's because I'm wearing the BlowOut Coil Hair and this is a matching closure. My natural hair isn't like this, so even if I were to leave my natural hair out, you'd be able to see the difference. So lace closures or silk based closures were actually inspired by the lace wig, and then we started using closures because we still wanted to wear installs or a weave. So I've chosen to use two of the Peruvian slick closures. They look the same, but they are different types of closures, and I'll explain that now. So I'm going to start with the silk base or the lace base closure. Actually, this is a lace base closure, and how a closure works is that individual strands of hair like these are sewn or embedded into the lace itself. The lace is either Swiss lace or French or German or even transparent lace, depending on which lace is available. Usually it's Swiss lace because that's more affordable, and it also comes in different colors to match people's skin color or their scalp color. Then the lace itself, this part over here, either comes in different sizes, but the most standard is the 3x4. And that's not very big, but it does give a very natural look to your install. So it can come in a middle part, or you can have the 3-part closure, or you can have a free part closure. So this is a silk base. This one over here was the lace base that I talked about just now, but now I'm going to move on to the silk base closure. A silk base closure is similar to a lace base, but like the name suggests, it's silk base, which means it's double layered. If we look over here, this is the foundation over here and it's lace, and similarly to the lace base closure, individual strands are sewn onto the foundation, the lace, but instead of it just being lace, we get the silk. Now if I open up this closure anywhere, can you see that this base over here looks more realistic than, let's say, the lace base which I'm wearing over here? The nice thing about the silk base is that it's very durable. Obviously, because it's double layered, it lasts longer, but it is more expensive than the lace base closure. So I know you may be stuck and wondering which one do I choose, so I'm going to tell you the pros and cons about each of these so you know what decision to make. This is a lace base closure, and remember, it's all lace. And one of the pros about the lace base closure is that it gives you a more realistic looking or more natural looking install than if you don't wear a closure. Sometimes you'll see girls wearing a weave and they don't use a closure, so the overall install doesn't look as natural as it could be. One of the downsides is that if the knots don't already come bleached, the hair itself or the closure doesn't look as realistic as it could be. So you need to do some customizations, either with parting it or with bleaching the knots. But if you guys want more information about that, check out my other video to make your closure look natural, and I'll leave the details in the description box below. The second one is the silk base closure. Now this is like the Maserati of closures, but it also has its downsides. So I'm going to tell you the nice thing about it. If you see when I open it here, you can see the silk over there, and that looks very, very, very realistic regardless of where you part it. The downside, however, is that if your scalp is not the same color as the silk itself will not look realistic. So you have to tint it to make it look more realistic. Another pro about the silk base closure is that it lasts longer than a lace base closure. Remember I told you that the silk base is double layered. So when it's double layered, it's stronger than just the single foundation of the lace. So it will last you longer, but it is more expensive than the lace base closure. Remember, this is silk, and silk is very expensive. Even though it is a very small size, it is more expensive. Okay, now that you know the difference between the two closures, when should you be wearing a closure? So as I said before about the lace base closure, you need to wear a closure to make your overall appearance of your unit or your install look natural. Also, as I've said before, Brazilian hair matches very well with African hair. But if you don't have African hair, or if you choose other hair textures other than Brazilian or Peruvian, you will have to wear a closure. It doesn't matter if you relax or straighten or do as much as possible to your natural hair, it won't blend with textures like Cambodian or Indian or Mongolian, so you need to wear a closure. Now you know the difference between the lace-based closure and the silk-based closure. I hope on your next purchase you'll be able to decide which closure is best for you. Remember, if you want to know more information about the closure, read our blog on the Hair by Sisi website, or check out our video about how to make your closure look more natural. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has given you closure, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy weaving!